Hey guys, it's Lizzie. Welcome back to my channel. It's been another couple of weeks since my last video. I've actually been doing quite a bit of reading, so I'm going to talk about some of the books that I've been reading. But I also wanted to just catch up and tell you what's been going on with me. Since my last video, I am no longer working. My store has officially closed. So I haven't been to work since April 1st. And it's now April 10th or April 11th. So I've been out of work technically 13 days. And honestly, the store closing really helped with my anxiety initially because it greatly reduced my risk of exposure to the virus. And so that's been nice. My mom is still considered an essential worker, so she is still working. And my dad is also still working, but he doesn't really come in contact with other people. My mom does. So overall, things are good on my end. We're all still staying healthy. I have been having some Lyme stuff come up again, and I don't know if it's just because I am feeling the collective stress of everything. I have not been sleeping well at all. The first couple of days after my store closing, I slept really well. But then since then, I've kind of found another new normal of having anxiety about what's going on, which I'm sure all of you can relate to. So anyway, that's just the update for now. We're supposed to be back to work by May, but who knows? In the meantime, I'm going to tell you about some of the books that I've been reading because it's been 11 days of the new year. Well, I haven't read anything today, but the last 10 days, I said new year, 10 days of the new month, I've read 4 books. So the first is Cat's Cradle by Kurt Vonnegut. Now, I've read Kurt Vonnegut before. I've mentioned he's one of my favorite authors. I got this at Goodwill for just, well, originally 99 cents, but I probably got it for 50 cents. So 50-cent book, or $1 book, Kurt Vonnegut, it's great. I really enjoyed it. It's really funny. There was an apocalyptic event that happens in the book, but it's so kind of silly that it didn't feel too triggering with what's going on now in real life. But it's funny, it's clever, it's Kurt Vonnegut. I really enjoyed it. I don't remember what I put on, I think I put 4 out of 5 on Goodreads. The next book I read is actually, what was that? So the next book I read was actually written by the mother of one of my favorite musicians. One of my favorite musicians' name is Tessa Violet. I will link her, check her out, she's super cool. Her mom has written a book, and it's just an ebook, so it's on my Kindle. I don't know if you can even see that, but it's called This Is Not a Romance and Nobody Dies. And this book was so cute and witty and clever and just a really good read. It has very interesting characters. The storyline is really interesting. I will say that it doesn't seem super edited, but there were quite a few weird random grammar errors, punctuation errors, kind of weird stuff like that. Nothing that directly affects the story, so it didn't bother me at all, but it definitely caught me. So despite that, it's still a really good read. I highly recommend it. You can get it on Amazon. And the story and the characters, the storyline were so strong that I didn't care that there were weird random editing errors. I really recommend the book. It's a beautiful story. It's very clever. It's unique. That's what probably my favorite thing about that book is that it was so unique. I felt like I didn't know where the story was headed, and when you got to different parts of the book, you're like, oh, that's clever. I've never read something like that before. So highly recommend. I think I gave it a 4 out of 5. I would have given it a 5 out of 5 had there not been really random grammar errors and punctuation errors and stuff like that. Overall though, great. Okay, and then the next thing I read is by Stephen King called Joyland. I actually got this book from my best friend Sophia like 2 years ago, but I just never finished reading it. I just wasn't in the mood at the time, I guess, but with everything going on now, I've been looking through my books and finding, you know, stuff that I haven't read in a while, so I read this, finished it in just a couple of days. It's Stephen King, so you know it's gonna be good. It's not super scary, it's not gory. It takes place in the summer at an amusement park, and it follows a young man who's like working during the summer. His girlfriend breaks up with him, so he's like heartbroken, and that is heavy in the book, and it's not something I super relate to. There's like so much more to it, and there's kind of like a murdery mystery to it as well, which is really interesting. Characters are good, so I highly recommend Joyland if you want to read a Stephen King but don't necessarily want to be super scared, because it's not scary. Okay, and then I've read Smart Women by Judy Blume. This is another one of my Goodwill books. I bought it originally because I read Judy Blume a lot as a kid, and I just really liked the cover. I thought that's a cool design. I like the colors and stuff. I did not like this book. I gave it a 2 out of 5 on Goodreads. I don't know why I didn't do 1 out of 5. It was so dumb. Something I really hate about adult fiction is books that are written for women, usually written by women, where the woman just absolutely hates her life. She's like a middle-aged woman, either married and horribly miserable in her marriage life, or she's divorced and horribly miserable in her depressed life. She usually has kids, she hates her kids are awful or whatever, she hates her job, you know, like these books are always the same, and I don't get what's interesting about it. It doesn't do anything for me. It's not at all interesting. I don't know who it's for. I don't know what kind of person enjoys this kind of stuff, like, unless it's just because I just cannot relate. Like, getting married and having kids is not something that's interesting to me on a personal level. I know that that's big with other people, but I just can't. Like, if you were in this kind of position where you were married and you hated your life, and you had kids and you hated your life, would you want to read about a woman who also hates her life? I don't get it. And in this book, there's also this other mother character who is horrible to her child, like not physically abusive or anything like that, but she is constantly gaslighting her, and it's never addressed. Like, the mother's mental health is addressed later on, it's all about her, but the child, like, never gets, like, validated that they were horribly gaslit their entire childhood. So, with that being said, I do not recommend this. I found it really stupid and dumb, not interesting. I did finish it though. I made myself finish it, hoping that there was gonna be a twist or something at the end. There's not. Yeah, I hate books like this. I hate that it's like written. I just don't understand it. Still love the cover. I still think it looks like a cool book. So yeah, that's it, guys. I hope you're doing well. If you're not, it's okay. You don't have to be doing super great, ever. I'm really tired. I hope that I can start sleeping soon. But I am also thankful that I am healthy, and that my family is healthy, and that we've got somewhere to live.